Hi, so today we're going to be making a whale card. So it's it's a little bit more difficult card. It has a few more steps and a few more supplies to make this card. But first I started off with some white cardstock. You can put that onto the side too. And I'm working on my Ranger craft mat, so I know that all this ink that I'm getting down on here, it'll easily come off and my work surface will be perfectly clean. So first I started off with Broken China, and this is Distress ink from Tim Holtz and Ranger, and this is now Peacock Feathers. It's a little bit darker. I'm just gonna get that ombre look. Now that Broken China, it's really light, especially when it's wet, because I use it so much that it's kind of out of ink and I don't have the re-inker. So just because of that, it's a little bit lighter color, so you can imagine it being kind of like a tumbled glass color from Distress ink. Now you definitely have to use Distress inks because you will never get the blend that Distress inks do with this technique. So now I'm taking out my water squirter. It's just a water mister, a water sprayer, and you can just get it at any cheap regular supply place or like a Walmart or anywhere you want to go. I just spritz it. Make sure you get a lot of droplets. Now you're going to want to wiggle it around, and you know if you get enough water, because if you get enough water you would easily be able to tell, because your paper would move around easily. If you didn't have enough water, that means that your paper would be stuck kind of to the surface and it wouldn't move. But definitely you have to use Distress inks when you're doing this technique. So at first I used my heat gun and I just heated it just to make sure that it's all dry. Now I'm just gonna, with this excess, I'm just gonna make these watermarks. It's gonna make it look more and more like a real water scene. So you can see how that turns out. And then I'm just gonna heat it again with my heat tool. Now if you want to, you can use your watercolor paper. I just don't have any, so that's why I'm just using regular. It does get quite a bit warped especially when you use your heat gun, but it's okay. So if you really want to get a really nice and make sure that you really want the paper to be really flat, then make sure that you definitely would want to use watercolor paper. So now I'm using Faded Jeans and Black Soot from Distress ink, and you can see that Black Soot is really black, and it's with the water though it does dry a little bit more like a gray. So just so you know that, so you can use some dark colors, and after it dries it does lighten up, so don't worry how it looks right now. So now I'm just gonna again heat it with the heat gun and then let it dry there. Now I'm taking out, this is some Perfect Pearls mist, or it's a homemade one. I just put some kiwi color Perfect Pearls in a water mister, and then I just did some splattering, and you can see how that Perfect Pearls, it's a kind of gold color. It really shows up on the end up card. So now I took out Critters in the Sea from the Lawn Fawn, and that's the whale from Critters in the Sea. And I'm going to be using this sentiment that says "Have a whale of a time." This sentiment is really versatile. It's for just some regular, just for a nice occasion. So you can use it for trips, and it could just be for everyday use too. So I'm just going to stamp that in Versamark. Versamark is a clear sticky ink. I'm just going to stamp it onto, again, that same just regular white cardstock. You can get it at some Sam's Club or wherever you want. Now I'm going to take out some silver embossing powder. I'm going to use my heat tool, and I'm going to heat emboss it. So you can see here I keep my main embossing powders in Tupperwares, so I don't have to keep on constantly pouring it and then getting it all over the place. And also the powder will also you'll lose every time you do it. So I'm taking out, this is some Ranger silver embossing powder, and I'm just gonna pour it over this paper, and you can see how your word will come out there. And you're just gonna want to tap it off, make sure that all the excess is off. I can see there's your word, "Have a whale of a time." Now it just looks grainy right now, and you want to heat emboss that, and you can see it gives that really nice glossy look. So now I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black, and I'm just going to stamp this whale. So I'm just gonna stamp this whale right above this "Have a Whale of a Time" sentiment, and I'm stamping it in Memento Tuxedo Black just because I'm gonna be doing Copic coloring. And you know how Copic markers, they only work with Memento inks and certain other various inks, but to be safe it's best to use Memento. And I usually would do anything black and VersaFine, but because I'm doing Copic coloring, I have to use Memento. So you can see it still gives a really nice crisp image. So now I'm taking CO, it's a cool gray. Now, and I'm just gonna do a base coat of that whole whale in the CO, and I'm gonna layer it twice. So you can see there. Now I'm taking C3 and I'm just gonna be doing some shading. So in the darkest areas, I'm just gonna take it. I'm just gonna shade that whole bottom of the whale, and then I'm gonna blend it out again with that CO. Now with C3 again, I'm gonna be making some dots just to make it look a little bit more fun. So you can see there, I used CO N8, I used the 100, which is black, and I used a Uniball Signal white gel pen too. Now I also have this Sizzix framelits, and I'm just gonna make a card out of it, a card base. So I have a regular card base, and you're just gonna want to have a little bit extra on the side so you can make your card. So now I also cut that watercolor piece that we made, and I just adhered it onto the card, so you can see there. Now I also there's my cutout whale, and I'm just gonna adhere that with some foam adhesive. But first I wanted to do a small haul. I got some really strong adhesives or double-sided tapes, and I also got this American Crafts glitter tape. So it's a little bit different from the glitter ribbon. I have some glitter ribbon that I've used in certain videos from before. Now this is glitter tape, so it's a little bit different. I got it in white, silver, and gold. Now the glitter tape, it has adhesive already on the back, so it's really easy to use, and it's a lot easier to use than the glitter ribbon, because with the glitter ribbon you have to put your own adhesive, and it gives the same exact really nice sparkle. But of course with the glitter ribbon you can do other techniques like tying the bow and stuff. So as you can see here, this is the silver. I'm just gonna cut off that edge. It had a little tape on it, and now I'm just gonna measure it. And the backside is, just so you know, it is not sticky right now. So you're just gonna I just lined it up, and I'm kind of estimating where I'm gonna put it. And you can see it has this it's a clear plastic that comes off the back. You can see there, and it reveals that adhesive, and it's pretty strong. But because it's a watercolor piece, and you know, when you do inking onto cardstock, it usually kind of distorts the cardstock and kind of warps it a little bit and makes it a little bit easier to fray. So because of that purpose, after I put this on, it was easy to come off, as you can see there. So I wanted to make sure that I got it really stuck down, so I used some mini glue dots, and then I used also some adhesive, or liquid adhesive. So now I'm taking out this Uniball. It's another Uniball sparkle pen, and this is in silver. I'm just gonna do some dots around this entire edge, and I also put it on that whale too. You can see that it gives a little sparkle. So now I also took out these rhinestones from Queen & Company. They do come already adhesive backed, but I wanted to make sure that these rhinestones really stick onto this cardstock, so I used some mini glue dots. And you can see that's the finished card. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please leave your comments below, and have a great day. Bye.